Hi, friends. I was watching television today, and you just can't escape the fact that so many people are out of work. I hear about that all the time, and it really is more bothersome when it hits real close to home. My best friend, a couple of months back, she came up to me, and she had lost her job, and she's got 5 kids. So I felt really badly for her, and she's a single mother. And so she was so upset. She was so angry. She was angry about everything, just everything. It was everybody's fault in the world. It was because of my boss, or the people I worked with, people that I work with were just talking bad about me. I was having problems. What do they expect? And every time she was talking about her experience in having lost a job, she kept pointing this finger unconsciously. And she didn't realize that she had these 3 fingers pointing right back at her. And I looked at her and I said, I'm going to give you the Civilized System Home Study course, and then I want you to take the live presentation, because first I know that you need to hear the information. That's really important. And then after that, you need to really experience it with me. I want you to take it in a live setting. So I gave her the home study course, and so she starts to listen to it. And she was okay. She was pretty much going along with it in a very positive manner, or somewhat positive manner. And then I asked her to come and take the live presentation. And she said to me, why? Why do I have to take a live presentation? I've got the home study course already. And I said, you know why? I said, because ever since I've met you, you haven't changed a bit. And what I've seen in your progression up to now is not good enough. Now, she hadn't finished the course. I have to be honest about that. And since we were going to be presenting a live presentation, it was a perfect opportunity for her to come and take it. So she says, when I told her that, her face just kind of dropped, like it really sunk in there, that she really hadn't changed much. Her attitudes hadn't changed. Her way of seeing others around her or her co-workers had not changed. She had an attitude and a belief about bosses that was negative and ugly, was not a nice one. So there's a lot of different factors. She'd show up sometimes late, and she'd blame it on the kids because the kids had issues or whatever it was. And all it meant to me was that she wasn't planning her day properly. She wasn't, being energetic enough or valuing her job enough to give it the respect that it needed to show up on time. And so anyways, I encouraged her to take a live presentation, and she did. And we started working on the techniques. She, of course, started doing the meditations, and then she started to change her thinking process from a negative to a positive, from a pessimistic point of view, a very jaundiced pessimistic point of view, to a very positive, optimistic point of view. And we insisted on that being the case. And so we would catch each other all the time, as to when anybody would say anything negatively, we'd say, cancel. You got to change that, substitute it with a positive. And since we did the program during the 2 weekends period of time, we had plenty of time to work in between. She got into she got into the habit of thinking more positively. That was very important. But we really took a long time to work with the beliefs. Her main problem really lied in the belief structures that she held. Now, her thing was, there's no good jobs out there. All the good jobs are taken. All bosses are rotten. People you work with are always trying to get you. I don't like leaving my children. I don't like to leave them behind. They need me at home. Well, they need you at home. They need you at work more than they needed you at home, because who's going to bring in the money, or feed them, or clothe them, or pay the bills, or keep the house, or the car? So again, there was a lot of belief structures that, as far as I'm concerned, and after discussing it with her, were at the very core of most of her challenges. So we took a long time to sit down and write out all these beliefs that she had about life, about love, relationships, about career, about money. Because she was living in a poverty-conscious mentality. Scarcity was her theme. There's not enough. There's no money. There's not enough. There's no money. All the time. That was a constant affirmation and feedback. Constant affirmation that kept getting reinforced over and over again. So, of course, if that's what she believes, then that's what she's going to attract. Scarcity. So we really sat down and wrote down beliefs that she had on paper, and saw the structure of them and said, look at the structure of this belief. How in the world do you think you're ever going to attract anything better than this into your living experience. It's not going to happen. So we really took the time to restructure each one of those beliefs. And if you think you don't have the time to do that, then you're wrong. You don't have the time to not do that. You are going to save precious time, energy, and you're going to see the benefits of taking an hour, let's say, of your life to change the rest of your life for the better. So you must make the time and effort to write down all of your beliefs in a way that you can then see them on paper, and then write them in a way that now opens the door to possibilities, opens the door to better things to manifest in your life and living experience. And so we did that. Then we also focused on what were some of her behaviors. And some of the behaviors that she had was that she was a little lazy. She wasn't valuing her job that much, so she wouldn't show up exactly on time or before the clocking time. She always showed up 2 or 3 minutes late, 5 minutes late. But that really bugged her supervisors. That really annoyed her boss. And she was, she had gotten written up on a couple of times already. And so by the third time she got written up, that was a perfect excuse to get rid of her. If you're not going to value the job that you have to the point that you're going to show that you are going to do your best for that job, then you have no business being there. And then when she didn't have the job, she says, oh my God, now what am I going to do? Well, yeah, it's a little bit late for that job. But now's a good time to start planning on what am I going to do to make other good things happen in my life. So it was necessary for her to evaluate her beliefs, her behaviors. And the behaviors had to change. You can't possibly expect good things to happen if you keep doing the same old rotten things over and over again. So when we started to work on that, it started to make a difference in her life. She started to realize that she indeed didn't value things like job and work in the way that she should, because really that was helping her life to be a lot better, smoother, easier, happier. And it really meant a lot for her children. And it meant a lot for herself and her health, even, because she was living with a lot of stress, getting headaches, gaining weight, and she didn't need that. That nobody needed that. No one needs that. So when she started doing that, things began to change internally. Now you might say, yeah, fine, she still doesn't have a job. Yeah, that's right, she didn't have a job yet. But the more she started to do this, and then she would start going into her meditative level and start to program with the mirror of the mind, then she really started to see great things happen. She utilized the mirror of the mind on a very consistent basis. First, the blue frame, which is the frame where you visualize the problem. She visualized herself without the job and suffering the way she was and not being able to pay her bills, people calling her out, for money, what do you call them, creditors, debtors, calling all the time, wanting her to pay up. And she couldn't pay because she didn't have the money. So she was always, being stressed out over that. So she saw all the problems that she was experiencing in the blue frame. And once she did that, she moved the frame over to the left. And it's one frame, moved it to the left, and changed the frame to white. And then within that, erased the problem image. And then within the white frame, she imagined herself happy, working, putting money in the bank, paying her bills, being able to provide her children with things that they needed, like clothing, of course, and food, being able to go out on a treat, go out to a movie maybe, or go out to a meal every so often, or something that could treat the children. In other words, she was picturing benefits more than anything else, picturing benefits. Then she also had to do the legwork. After she did the programming, she also had to go out and look for places of employment, and she started to make applications. And maybe she applied to 10 different places, because you've got to do all the legwork as well. It's not like programming, say, one of these days I'll get a job. That's not good enough. You need to do the programming, but you're also physical beings. You've got to do the legwork and go out and apply to jobs as well. So once she applied to jobs, there was a few of them that had already scheduled for interviews. So what she started to do was that she then programmed herself. She would go into a meditation at night, and she would program herself to awaken when the person that was going to conduct the interview was most receptive for programming. So she would go into her level, do that, and go to sleep from there. Sometime during the night, she would wake up, and she reminded herself, that's when the person who's going to conduct the interview for this job I applied to is most receptive mentally. How do we know? You know what? Intelligence knows everything. Your intelligence is not limited to anything. not limited to time or dimensions. Your intelligence, when it's given an instruction and it has a need means you have a problem, is going to do what it can to satisfy that need, to help you to not have that problem. So intelligence woke her up. And when she woke up, she went back into a meditative state, into her alpha level, and at that, she counted from 10 to 1. Say, I'm going to count from 10 to 1 to attune, like hone in on that person who is going to conduct the interview. So she did 10, 9, 8, all the way down to 1, and felt herself connecting with that person. So it's even better if you know who the person is and you have an image of them. Then you can actually picture them in your mind and talk to them. So when she did that, she started to talk to her. Hi, my name is so-and-so, and I've applied for this job, and I want to tell you how much I really, really want this job. I will do everything I can to be a top grade, a top grade employee. I will do my job well. I will show up on time. I will be committed to the outcome. I will do the best I can to make sure that I deliver what you're looking for. I promise that I'll be a good employee. I'll give my extra plus, when I work with you, and I'm so looking forward to meeting you. And so she imagines the interview going very well. She imagines that her body posture was ideal, that her breathing was paced and comfortable and grounded, that she said the right thing at the right time, that she made appropriate eye contact, that she dressed appropriately for the occasion, that she was pleasant, that she opened herself up to questions and comfortably answered the questions, that she was present. And so she imagined and role-played all of that during the time that she woke up sometime during the night. And then she just simply said, I'll see you in, whatever day it was, tomorrow or the next day, whatever. And I look forward to meeting you. Thank you very much. And I appreciate the job that you have to offer me. And she would go back to sleep. She did this for 3 different people. Of the 3 that she did, all 3 called her back for a job. Now, you can't tell me that by doing these things, it doesn't work. She took full responsibility for her behaviors, her beliefs, and her thinking process. She went into her level and subjectively, spiritually, went through the whole process of role-playing and exerted and informed that person without anything or anybody interfering. A direct line, mind to mind, heart to heart, spirit to spirit, a direct line, and said, this is what I promise you I will do. Now, you can't be lying about this when you're doing this. You've got to be coming from the center, from the heart, from truth. And when you commit yourself truthfully, honestly, wholeheartedly, with all your soul and spirit, with all the positive intentions, the doors open up for you. Of the 3 applications and the 3 times that she did that, all 3 people called her back. Now she could choose which one she really wanted. And you know what? She's been working out for the past couple of months very happily. And I tell people this, and I share this story with them, and this is not the first time that I have this kind of feedback from people. In fact, this happens all the time. If this is something that can help you, by all means, take this information and run with it. And if you need some help, just drop me a line and I'll guide you step by step as to exactly how to do that. So I wish you lots of luck, and you've got to believe that the job is there for you. You've got to believe that you are blessed. You are one of those lucky persons. Expect great things to happen. When you wake up in the morning, say, today is a day that great things will happen to me. Today is a day I will find the perfect job because I'm the perfect person for this job. Find it with passion. And I wish you the best of luck. And again, we're here for you.